Have you ever wondered what makes milk taste just a little bit sweet? The answer is a type of sugar called lactose. It's often called milk sugar for a very simple reason. It's found naturally in the milk of mammals, including cows, goats, sheep, and even humans. Lactose is a disaccharide, which is a fancy way of saying it's a large sugar molecule made up of two smaller, simpler sugars bonded together. These two smaller sugars are glucose and galactose. For our bodies to actually use the energy locked inside lactose, we first have to break it down. This is where a special enzyme called lactase comes into play. Lactase is produced in the lining of our small intestine, and its one and only job is to split lactose into its two component parts, glucose and galactose. Lactose is, by definition, milk sugar, so its primary home is in dairy products. The most obvious sources are the ones that come straight from the dairy case: milk, cream, half and half, and ice cream. These liquids and soft-serve treats are generally high in lactose because they have undergone minimal processing. The processes of fermentation and aging can dramatically reduce the amount of lactose. Take yogurt, for example. The live, active bacterial cultures actually feed on the lactose, breaking it down into lactic acid. Hard, aged cheeses like cheddar, Swiss, and Parmesan are often surprisingly low in lactose. During cheese-making and aging, most lactose is drained off or consumed by bacteria. The longer a cheese is aged, the less lactose it contains. Lactose can be hidden in processed foods like bread, cereal, salad dressings, and deli meats, used as filler or stabilizer. Learning to read food labels is critical for managing lactose intake. So what happens when you consume lactose but your body doesn't produce enough of the lactase enzyme to break it down? When undigested lactose travels from the small intestine into the large intestine or colon, it becomes a feast for the trillions of bacteria that live there. As these gut bacteria ferment the lactose, they produce gases like hydrogen, carbon dioxide, and methane. This fermentation process is what leads to the classic symptoms of lactose intolerance: uncomfortable bloating, painful gas, and audible stomach rumbling or gurgling. There are three main types of lactose intolerance, each with a different underlying cause. The most common is primary lactose intolerance, which is the genetically programmed decrease in lactase production that begins after infancy. In an age of wellness trends and celebrity-endorsed diets, it's easy to be skeptical of conditions that involve avoiding certain foods. However, it's crucial to understand that lactose intolerance is a very real, well-documented physiological condition with a clear biological mechanism. The ability for adults to digest milk is actually the genetic exception, not the rule. This ability, known as lactase persistence, is a relatively recent evolutionary adaptation that arose in populations with a long history of dairy farming, particularly in Northern Europe. For the majority of human history, and for a majority of the world's population today, lactase production naturally declines after childhood. So, being lactose intolerant isn't an abnormality. In a global context, it's the biological norm. Managing lactose intolerance doesn't mean your diet has to become boring or restrictive. It's all about making smart swaps and becoming a savvy label reader. You can explore the growing world of lactose-free dairy products, which offer the same taste and nutritional profile as their regular counterparts. The next strategy is to incorporate naturally low lactose dairy foods into your diet. As a rule of thumb, the harder and more aged the cheese, the less lactose it contains. Similarly, yogurt and kefir containing live and active cultures can be well tolerated. Becoming a food label detective is an essential skill. Be on the lookout for terms like milk, milk solids, whey, curds, and milk powder on the ingredients list. This includes products like baked goods, breakfast cereals, processed meats, margarine, and even some salad dressings. When people hear they need to cut back on dairy, one of their first concerns is often about calcium. Fortified plant-based milks are a fantastic place to start. Whether you prefer almond, soy, oat, or rice milk, most major brands are now fortified with calcium to match or even exceed the amount found in cow's milk. Beyond fortified milks, the plant kingdom offers a wealth of calcium-rich options. Dark leafy greens are nutritional powerhouses, and many of them are packed with calcium. Collard greens, kale, and spinach are all great choices. Don't forget about nuts, seeds, and legumes. A handful of almonds can provide a surprising amount of calcium, as can a tablespoon of sesame seeds or tahini. Beans and lentils are another fantastic source, providing not only calcium but also fiber and plant-based protein. For those times when you want to enjoy a dairy-rich meal without the consequences, lactase enzyme supplements can feel like a magic bullet. These products are not medication. They are simply a dietary supplement containing the lactase enzyme. The idea is straightforward. By taking the enzyme along with a lactose-containing food, you provide your digestive system with the tool it needs to break down the milk sugar before it can cause trouble in your colon. The key to using these supplements effectively is timing. The lactase enzyme needs to be present in your small intestine at the same time as the lactose. This means you should take the supplement just before or with your first bite of dairy. For many people, the answer is a resounding yes. These supplements can be very effective at preventing or reducing the symptoms of lactose intolerance. However, their effectiveness can depend on the dosage and the amount of lactose being consumed. Living with lactose intolerance might seem daunting at first, but it is entirely manageable. It's a journey of learning to listen to your body and understanding its unique needs. By recognizing the symptoms and identifying your personal threshold for lactose, you can regain control over your digestive comfort and overall well-being. The modern food landscape is more accommodating than ever before. There is a vast and growing array of delicious lactose-free and dairy-free alternatives available in nearly every grocery store. It's also important to be an advocate for your own health. This means reading labels diligently, asking questions at restaurants, and communicating your dietary needs clearly to friends and family. By arming yourself with knowledge, partnering with your healthcare provider, and exploring the many delicious options available, you can navigate your diet with confidence and ease. Ultimately, managing lactose intolerance is about finding a sustainable balance that works for you. Whether you choose to use lactase supplements for occasional indulgences, stick to naturally low lactose dairy, or embrace a fully dairy-free lifestyle, the goal is the same: to feel your best. Lactose intolerance doesn't have to define your relationship with food. Instead, it can be an opportunity to become a more mindful and knowledgeable eater, building a healthy and happy life, one meal at a time.